Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips. Get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
BooBaes.
Hi.
Hello, and welcome to
BooBaes. BooBaes. Hold on, I gotta redo that. Hold on.
That was great.
No, that was not good. I was so focused on trying to get that sip of coffee down.
BooBaes.
Okay, hold on. Hi.
Hello, and welcome to
BooBaes.
That's right, we're your hosts. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Joshua.
And today we're here to talk to you about
Nosferatu.
Yeah, the ultimate classic.
The symphony of horror.
1922.
That has inspired so many in the genre of horror. That literally has given us the killer going up the stairs and the shadow bits and
with his ghostly fingers, the ghastly,
so
ghouls.
Freakishly long and over size.
Yeah,
so creepy.
Who's his nail lady?
Who's in there?
I need it. I want tips like that.
The ends, and it was flesh-like as well. So,
yeah. There's a nail artist I follow on Instagram who actually does. She made skin nails. Once. She does really weird things.
Yeah, that sounds
cool. And then
cool.
she also made one that looks like an eyeball.
It sounds scary but cool at the same time. Not scary, creepy.
Yeah,
but cool. I would like to see that. Do they but are they your regular, how long are they?
They were just short ones, the skin ones.
Yeah.
But they had skin folds
but
on
it's
them.
nail.
Yeah.
So it's still separate from the skin. So it looks like a nail.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't just look like it's just one whole morphed nail, finger together type of situation, right?
Yeah.
Are you pulling it up?
I was trying to, but I realized I don't remember her Instagram. Oh, actually, I think I just found it.
But that sounds really cool. You should do that next time. Get your nail lady to do that. Oh. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Yeah, the veins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zoom in. Production. That's really cool, actually.
There's one that I've seen that had skin folds in it too. This one she did tattoos.
Oh, that's cute.
On the skin
looks like
nails.
a tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I would be a fan. I wouldn't be opposed. I just cut all my nails really short, actually, because
these ones look like little spines.
I was getting tempted to bite them.
Don't bite them.
And I haven't. No,
you're doing so well.
I cut them short. Those are cool. Those look those give me Alien vibes. If you were to paint them black. Oh, that's really cool.
The eyeball.
Wait, I just saw the end of it.
Yeah.
That kind of made me gag a bit. I'm sorry. It looks like someone's eyeball, you guys. But yeah, a silent German expressionist vampire film directed by F.W. Murnau. Starring Max Schreck as Count Orlok.
Yeah, Shrek.
Yeah, shout out to Shrek. Shrek 5 coming out soon, you guys. Everybody go watch. This episode has also been brought to you by Shrek 5.
Shrek 5.
DreamWorks production. It's basically This is well, we know that, and it has been stated by like the people who created it, that it draws heavily off of Dracula, Bram Stoker's, which that book came out in like 1897, I believe. So not too far before this came out. And it's a vampire daddy who's just looking for a little love.
Yeah.
And starts smitten with his coworker's wife.
Ellen's character, played by Greta Schroeder.
Yeah. And he, just happens to also end up bringing a plague.
Yeah.
Murders an entire town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Parade of caskets.
Is it because the rats? Was it the rats that maybe the rats got infected with? I don't know. And then
I think so.
Right. Because they focused a lot on the rats.
He just literally was killing everyone.
That's what I was getting as well. Throughout the night, he was just killing people because they all had the bites on their necks. The two things. Spoiler alert. But I was also...
He just was insatiable and had this thirst and just literally wiped out a whole town.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why he had to move, because the plague.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And how it spreads from town to town.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Just a guess.
No, yeah, that's probably... But I don't know. Because even in looking it up, it all the other things are he brings a plague with him, or it's a plague star. It's when looking up stuff about the film. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so was it a plague or was it him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
who
anyways.
knows? I do have some updates about Blade that I wanted to share. That I listened to the Blade episode on our way down here, and we talked about the movie Wanted. I actually went and watched it.
Oh, did you?
It's kind of silly.
It's the logic police starts to come in a lot. Yeah.
But it was still a fun watch. Andrew was like, "Why am I so engrossed in this?" And I was like, "Because it's entertaining.
It's entertainment." Yeah. Sometimes you have to just turn your brain off and just enjoy a silly, goofy movie.
Yeah. But it was
and it's not silly at all. It's serious. They're taking themselves seriously.
Yeah, very seriously.
I'm sure a lot of people have seen that film, but if you haven't, just go watch it.
Yeah, it's a good ride.
Yeah. It's got a lot of stars in it.
Yeah, it was Morgan Freeman. You were right.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Then Angelina Jolie, James McAvoy. Some other people, too, who played in other things. But
I guess I never realized, how many things James McAvoy is actually in and how early on his career goes far back. Yeah. I don't know why I don't give that dude credit. Great actor.
He is. He's phenomenal. He's in I saw Deadpool versus Wolverine, which...
So oh, sorry. No, stop.
James McAvoy isn't... Well... No.
Whatever you have to say. Is it spoiler?
No. Okay. Well, I do want to...
I still haven't seen it.
There is a cameo.
And I've actually been keeping myself...
But I realized I posted it on my story.
Well, okay. Well, yeah. I those that you did post, I already... Yeah. Everybody's been talking about it.
Okay, so, Blade's in it.
Yeah.
Blade has a comeback. And I was like, damn it, I wish I would have watched this before we covered Blade.
Yeah.
But Blade came back and he uses the one-liner, some motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate uphill. And I was like...
That's awesome.
In the theater, and everyone was like, what the hell? And I was like, I'm just here for Blade and Literally. Mr. Darcy. Because Mr. Darcy from the 2002 Pride and Prejudice.
I was like, I don't know Mr. Darcy.
McFadden.
I've never watched that movie. I'm sorry.
I watch it. It's my comfort movie, though. So I watch it every 3 months or so.
What's the premise? Someone's trying to get married?
It's someone's trying not to get married and then ends up falling in love and gets married.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's cute. That's like everything in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
But in the 1998 movie Blade, Wesley Snipes' character keeps a plant in a shrine. Remember last week I was confused about this plant that he had and what the significance of it was. Mm-hmm. And it says it's an air-sats hybrid plant, a juxtaposition of two species from disparate lineages, leaves and roots of a dracena. So I guess that's like a Dracula flower.
Oh, cute. Okay.
With flowers of leucospermum stuck in the base. The plant occurs in 2 scenes, and neither includes any dialogue. And basically, he cuts the plant at the crown, severing its roots, and when he's preparing for his final battle. And this is apparently a symbolic act drawn from some historical warrior sect. And the metaphorical implications are clear, according to this article.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, they're not clear. I was so confused.
And they're just like, yeah, duh. This is like
This is
drawing
done.
some,
And I was like,
symbolic
I
meaning.
don't get it. And
It's just for symbolism then.
But Blade is a hybrid with both human and vampires present, and he cuts the root of this symbolic totem to show his independence from the people who made him and raised him,
Okay.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's what the plant meant.
Okay, it's giving metaphor. It's
Yeah.
we're reading in between the lines, but obviously we couldn't.
I couldn't. I was just like, what the fuck is this plant? I guess if you knew stuff about plants, then you would
Yeah.
be good with it. But
All of our plant bays and plant daddies and plant mommies.
yeah, if you were like, oh my God, I totally knew that was a Dracanis, if I'm even saying that right.
Went right over my head.
Yeah.
But we learn, we study, we look into things when we don't know what they are and when we need to educate ourselves. So
Precisely.
you get a 2-fingered clap. That's 4 fingers, actually.
Like Dumbledore claps in Harry
Yes.
Potter.
I want one of those little like can thingies, like that SNL sketch.
Tiny hands.
I'm Darla. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And tiny hands. Yeah. And maybe we should start talking about the movie.
Yeah, Nosferatu. We get right into it with the
Yeah.
credits and orchestral music.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, the music throughout the whole thing really does a great job of portraying the emotions and
How you're supposed to feel.
yeah,
Mhm.
it really leads you and guides you in the direction of like what you should be feeling in
Yeah,
that
because
time.
of what's happening, because it's a silent film. Even though it's not so silent with the music, but there's no dialogue. And it really does lean in onto its subtitle of a symphony of horror. Because throughout the whole movie, you're really just on it's like listening to like a whole album almost, essentially, but
Yeah.
with like it's like one long song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it never really lets up.
It
Like the
doesn't.
whole time,
Even
it's just an hour and 20 minutes or so.
And even in this like segues and in between things happening, like it'll like lull, but there's just like maybe it's just like one string or violin, and it just kind of draws in, and then another swelling,
Yeah.
piece comes in, and it's just like, but it's still the same song. Yeah, it was really good. And we get like the cast and all that stuff. Everything's popping up. It's kind of lasts a little while. Just kind of
Yeah, because it kind of,
introducing.
like how in modern films, they put like the name of the character and then the name of the actor together at the end of the film.
Mhm.
This one put it together at the beginning.
Mhm.
So it was really long, and so that way you could actually read who everyone was, and it was like a playwright giving you
Yeah.
the rundown of who it is you're going to be watching in the film.
And then we start to cut into meeting Hutter, right? Our protagonist.
Yeah, and we're in Act 1.
Act
The
one.
scene,
Oh, yes.
the movie's broken up into 5 acts, right?
Giving Chromatica. No, I'm just kidding. Chromatica inspired Nosferatu.
Yes.
No, but yes.
In the
it's broken-
future,
it's
time
is a loop.
It is.
And it goes back in on itself.
It's not linear.
Not at all. Someone grab me a piece of paper, please. If you put a hole in this piece of paper, do you know what I'm talking about? Like in every freaking space movie or like wormhole movie, and someone has to like punch a hole and be like, "Look, it's not linear. We are
This
here,
is
and now we
time."
can be here." Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's getting ready, for the day, going to work, assuming it's a normal day, but it's not a normal day because he gets a job offer today that completely changes his life. But before that even happens, we have him embracing his wife.
Yes.
And being all cutesy wootsy. And then
And there was a kitty.
Oh, there was a kitty.
They're
And
playing
super cute. Shout out to that kitty. Do you think
kitty actor.
I wonder where that kitty is today?
belly in the ground.
And we have him bringing her flowers.
Yes.
And then she's like, "Oh, why'd you kill them?" And I was like, "Damn, son. Like, homeboy just can't catch a break, it seems. No. But it's okay."
And the music this whole time is so cheery. It's very light and very just happy.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yeah. And then he's basically like, I got to go to work. And they head out the door. He runs into someone, and this person, I don't know who this person was. Was it the doctor?
No, I don't think it was.
Or just a random person?
I think it was a doctor. I think it was just like a townsperson or something.
Well, they give him a very ominous message.
Yeah.
They say, not so fast, my young friend. No one can outrun their fate. Or it's on the screen.
Yeah. There's a lot of diegesis.
Diegesis.
Yes.
Oh. Sorry.
No, that was me. It's my new
you can throw your sound.
I can impersonate technology now. Ding. It only works one time per day though.
Oh, that's
all.
fair.
So that's all you get. And I wanted to really like do it spontaneously so you would like think it was your phone, but it wasn't.
You fooled me.
Gotcha. And he ends up needing to meet with his boss because isn't it that dude? The dude, or there's at the screen something says like you need to go meet your boss because he has like a new something for you to do or something like that.
Yeah, and it's says an estate agent named Knock.
Yeah.
Who rumors circulated about, but he paid his people well. So it was like
it's already giving ominous and like weird.
It's like what rumors?
Like he does shady business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because he pays people well.
Yeah, because he makes a lot of shady money with these shady deals.
Yeah.
It gives very like
curling the mustache.
Yeah. And so we have him going to.
He could have curled his eyebrows. His eyebrows were so fucking big.
Big and huge and burly and giving like mad scientists.
He need to go see Sonia.
And his hair on the side and stuff.
Yeah.
But we have him, Hooter, meeting his boss. And, he's telling him that Mr. Count, what's his name? Count Orlok from Transylvania wants to buy a house in their town. And that this could be he can make a good sum of money from this. And I'm assuming he's also like, never mind. I lost my train of thought. But yes, he can make a good sum of money.
But it's going to cost you a little sweat and a little blood.
There we go. Yeah,
possibly a little blood,
exactly.
He says. And it's like,
you're already getting
look at what?
Like, and the way Hutter is just like, okay,
cool. Okay, sounds good.
That doesn't mean a thing. Yeah.
He don't believe. He's happy-go-lucky.
That is true. His character is very much like that type of archetype.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Especially in the beginning. I guess that's why they set that up of him being so like and playing with the cat and just like the flowers.
Yeah. He's very just. He's not a pessimist.
Yeah.
He's optimistic about life.
Radical optimism. I said radical weird, but we have. Then he gets ready to set out, right? Doesn't he go home to go tell his wife he's got to go?
Yeah, and well, they talk a little bit about like saying that he wants a very nice empty house, and he's like, offer him the house across from yours. But that house was not. It looked like an abandoned factory, or something.
Like
not
it needed
super
some
nice.
TLC.
Yeah, but it was huge. I mean, comparable to a castle. So
something he could be used to, even though it seems that he really only uses his coffin and then just the dining area.
Yeah. He
for the most part.
Didn't need anything else than his castle whenever he packs up and moves. So very interesting. But yes, now he is off to the land of phantoms. And wife Ellen it took me a while to get her name.
I thought it was Eileen for a second, but then I was like, no, Ellen. Like, yeah.
I called her Emma.
Emma?
At one point.
Because the cursive, was it a little hard to read at sometimes?
No, I just remembered it started with an E.
And so it got stuck with Emma.
Yeah, I was like, Emma. And then they were like, Ellen. And I was like, oh shit, it's Ellen.
I kind of like Emma though. Emma's really cute. Emma's a really cute name. Emma Watson.
I have a student named Emma.
Yeah. You know what? Someone has a kid.
Emma Stone.
And I think it's really, her real name's Emily.
Emily.
Yeah, but
Emily
she went
Stone.
with Emma because I think there was already like another Emily Stone somewhere or something close into like her into the what you call it, film showbiz. There you go. So she went with Emma, but no, someone has a kid named Emma Lily. And I think that's really pretty, or it's the stupidest thing you've ever heard as well. I think you think it's stupid.
Emma Lily.
Because it sounds like Emily, but it's Emma Lily.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm sorry to that person's kid.
Your face reads otherwise. But he is... they're not listening. It's okay.
Okay.
Some
good.
Emma Lily out there though is
it's
like,
God damn it, that's my name.
Heartbroken. But we have he's going home and he's getting ready to go, packing up. And that bag was so weird that he was packing. Have you ever seen a bag like that?
Yeah, it looked like what you shove plastic bags into, like at your mom's house,
and like to hold on
that hangs from the ceiling, and it's like this like sack of tube. Yeah, this tube of plastic bags.
Yeah,
that's what it reminded me of. And yeah, he's packing up. Ellen is not happy about this.
No.
He's running around like, this is the best thing that's ever going to happen to me.
Oh, he's ready to get away from her.
Yeah. He was like, I gave you flowers, bitch. Now you're good for a month.
Literally. And he's like, and you had the audacity to complain about them. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And her face the entire time always gave very just like a deer caught in headlights or something a lot, but yeah, she's not taking it well. She gives very like, she seems a bit fragile, and they even describe her as his anxious wife.
Yes,
a few times, and then he's just like holding her. He gives her a big smooch, and then is like,
there was a lot of kissing in this movie.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
Like I don't know why I expected it
to be more not like
conservative, PG. But like.
It was a horror movie, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Just with the time.
Yeah.
I imagined that maybe there wouldn't be as much kissing. I mean, they weren't like makeout sessions or anything, but I was like, oh, wow, they're showing kissing.
Yeah.
Gasp.
Good long like smooches is what it was. Yeah. Especially right there. And then he's entrusting his anxious wife to his friends.
A wealthy ship owner.
Mm-hmm. And
Harding and his sister. They're siblings.
Oh, I thought it was his wife.
It said sister.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Then his sister.
But I also thought wife.
Wasn't it giving wife at certain times?
Yeah.
Huh. And so then we have him.
Their house is beautiful, by the way.
It's huge. We have him leaving. If I were her, I'd be like, okay, this is fine. Like, bye. But she ends up still like being all, crying, kind of like, like as he's leaving, and what's that word when people are kind of like longing, yearning,
yearning. Yeah.
She's showing like she's just like really distraught that he's leaving still.
Yeah, that's what I wrote. She's distraught.
Yeah, and then
she chases after him, gets another kiss, and then she cries.
Yeah. Very much that. And the sister has to come and like, console her.
Like, it's okay. It's okay. And he's like, don't worry. And then he gets on horseback, and I was like, I guess he wouldn't go any other way except horseback now. Yeah. And he's trotting along, and finally he reaches the Carpathian mountain range, I think is what it is. It said Carpathians on the horizon. And I was I guess that means mountain range, because then they showed a mountain range.
It has to, yeah.
So
we just don't know that context, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder where those even are. Honestly, didn't know where they were, TBH, because I know we know that he was going to Transylvania.
Yeah, he was going to Transylvania, and then
they had to take a boat.
It is a German film,
so they're in Germany. You think?
Everything was in English, but she, like, at one point she's embroidering that pillow, and it says "Ich liebe dich," which means I love you.
Oh. My bad.
Yeah.
And same things, synonymous.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Depending on the
I
love.
don't know. I've sucked many a dicks with no love involved.
That's true. Yeah, same. Sometimes it's just lust.
Yeah.
And we have.
He stops at an inn.
Oh yeah, the bar. Is it an inn or a bar? It's an inn bar.
Inn bar, yeah.
Bar inn.
Bar inn.
Ooh. In bar. Okay, sorry, I got stuck on that. It just sounded cool. But yes, he's getting himself a pint.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to get himself a room for the night because he's like, he sits there and he drinks, he shovels it down his gullet.
Oh, yeah.
He just like glug, 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 glug. And then he's like, well, I'm off to go see.
The wizard.
Yeah.
Chicken. Count Olaf.
Count Orlok.
Uh-huh. I was like, why do people want to call him Olaf? Oh, God.
My phone would not let me spell Orlok.
Yeah, a lot of the times I just called him Nosy, TBH.
Nosy.
That's Nosy.
Yeah, eventually I just end up calling him Nosferatu.
But he mentions that he's gonna go to the Count's castle, and everybody's like,
You're what?
You can't, because there's a werewolf outside tonight."
And was it a hyena?
It was, you know what? I think I've seen pictures of that thing before. I don't think they live anymore. I think they're extinct. It's like a
special kind of wild
It's
dog.
an old type of, like animal. And they like, people killed them out, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like,
because they would like eat chickens and livestock and stuff. So like
people killed them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they tell him can't go any further tonight because the werewolf is roaming the forest. And so they prepare a room for him.
Mm-hmm.
And like she-wolf?
Yeah, sorry.
Ow.
She's just out there like little
I love that song.
I love her. She's honestly a queen. They say never meet your idols, right? So I don't know. She could be like a bitch, but I don't know. She gives
her hips
like
don't lie.
She gives like really sweet and funny. Like
Yeah,
I feel like
does.
she would be a really fun time like at the bar.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or just like. Also, she looks like she would be really fun to go like. What's the thing called? Like zip lining or doing like something adventurous. She seems really adventure-y.
Yeah, she does.
Mm-hmm. And so then we have, what do we have? We have him going to bed. But also before that, he starts reading a book about vampires, right?
Yeah, vampires, the phantoms, and the 7 deadly sins.
Ooh, that sounds like a band.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And then we basically end up learning about the vampire Nosferatu, who feeds on blood. And
I'm a bit. Can I ask something of ignorance, I guess, or maybe dumb question? Nosferatu is like just another blanket term for a type of vampire, or is that?
I think
that called Count Orlok himself?
Yeah, I think.
Or is that like another version of Dracula? Is what they're trying to say? Basically,
yeah,
like
maybe
a word for Dracula.
Possibly.
Okay. Sorry,
because I was
a bit
maybe
confused.
it was he found this book in the hotel room, and it was a lore of the vampire who lives in the area. So I think,
and like the townspeople came up with the name, like his name's Nosferatu.
Yeah,
like, yeah,
and
okay.
So then that was Count Orlok.
Okay,
but
got it.
I don't know. That's just kind of what I got.
That's what Caitlin got, you guys.
Don't know if it's right. But anyways, he basically just ignores all this and goes to sleep. It was his little harbinger of death, this little book.
It was.
And he's just like, he literally goes,
that's nothing.
And just throws the book.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
do a really good job of like without words showing how much he is just like going into this without any thought and with all the ignorance in the world.
Yeah, he's very animated. Like even when he wakes up
and in his face,
he's stretching and doing all that stuff, and everything that he does is super
exaggerated.
Yeah,
a bit. Yeah. And he's up and he sets out for the castle, right? It's the next day. He gets these like people on horse and carriage buggy type of situation to give him a ride.
Yeah.
But they only go so far. because once he gets to right before the bridge, they're like, "No, buddy, we're not going that way."
Yeah, they're like, pay what you will, but we stop here.
Yeah.
We won't go. We've got a bad feeling about heading over the pass, so we're not going any further, and you can suck a dick.
Suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a dick. That's giving
what they said.
Nicki Minaj. And yeah, he's like, well, you know what? I'll suck all of those, and I'm going to cross the bridge doing it, because he does.
On foot.
And he just takes his little happy, jolly self over. And I love how even as he's crossing the bridge, we start to get, like, the music starts shifting.
Yeah.
And then we start to get... Is this whenever we get the text where it's like... it's shadowy something?
Yeah, as soon as Hutter crossed the bridge, he was seized of the eerie visions.
Yeah.
And then that random creepy carriage that looks like it's moving in stop motion.
Yeah. Comes and pick him up.
Comes and picks him up. And I was like, the horses were like shrouded.
I was like, are the horses vampires too?
Yeah. And the guy was shrouded. And then also, so I watched the colorized version.
Same.
And I think there were a lot of times where they colored it maybe incorrectly, or it was supposed to be dark out, but it looked like it was light.
Oh, okay.
Because like whenever he gets to the castle, he's like, you kept me up. It's past midnight. All the servants are asleep. And it looked like daytime.
Literally, I was thrown off a bit on that too.
Like, what?
And then there were certain times where, especially where it looked like daylight, I'm like, why is he out? I thought like you're supposed to be like he can't see the sun, you know what I mean? Like when he was on the boat, like it looked like daytime too, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It was supposed to be nighttime, but it just wasn't colored in that way. Or maybe they couldn't
color it in dark without it looking weird or something.
Or not being visible or something.
Because then even at the end too, when Ellen's looking out the window, that looks dark, but then as Nosferatu emerges from his new house and he opens like his little doorway opens up, he looks like he's in broad daylight. And then but you can assume that he's not, and then later on you can definitely tell when the sun does come up, because then obviously he, spoiler alert, burns to a crisp. But
that's really thank you for saying that, because it makes so much more sense now, to be honest. Because a lot of the times too, especially at the end when he does die, I'm like,
he's been in daylight this whole time.
Literally, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, how is that different from the other sun? I was like thinking, like, was he, because he was a bit hooded earlier? Like what? Like I didn't understand.
He had a parasol.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. But
okay, so case closed. You just unlocked the whole movie for me.
Yeah,
it makes so much more sense now. But he ends up also the dude who picked him up, was that not, it wasn't Nosy, was it?
Kind of seemed like him.
I think it was him,
like just shrouded.
Then, I don't know. Yeah, right. I guess so.
It seems like no one else existed in this area except for him.
But yet the mailman came all the way on horseback out here.
Oh, yeah, true.
I thought that was like, well, that makes no damn sense, because nobody else comes out here, but yet the mailman comes out here.
I guess Nosy's got a lot of letters he's got to send.
But he ends up, maybe he pays him well.
Yeah.
And so, or he's a familiar.
Ah. Yeah.
If you do recall from the Blade episode, familiars are humans that serve in servitude to vampires in hopes of being turned into vampires themselves.
Exactly.
Caitlin's my familiar.
I am.
Could you imagine? Exposed. We just accidentally exposed entire vampire culture. I get like assassinated right now. So we have him getting picked up, taken to the castle, getting left at the castle. He goes into the castle. The doors shut behind him, and it's almost like it has like a courtyard, right? That's why it's
I feel like it was Nosferatu who picked him up, because
it had to have been.
The carriage was traveling at like superhuman speed too.
That's true, and he has powers.
Yeah, and because like later on the boat, they're like, it traveled at inhuman speeds and stuff, and so I feel like maybe it was Nosferatu that picked him up.
He's just like cosplaying.
Yeah, he's like
really freaky. He's kinky. He's into that shit.
He's like, this is how we meet. Role play,
literally. And so then he ends up. Oh yeah, and is this where anyways, Nosferatu lets him in, and then this is where we get the end of Act 1. That's right.
Yeah, and where he says like it's almost midnight. The servants are all asleep, and then we get into Act 2. And at Act 2, they're sitting down having a nice meal at dinner when all of a sudden Hutter cuts his hand while trying to cut a slice of bread. And he obviously Nosferatu has a very quick reaction, and he's like, "You've hurt yourself. The precious blood."
The precious blood.
And Orlok tries to drink it.
Yeah, and what's his name is like, "Oh, that's a bit too far, bro."
Yeah, he's
you
like,
sucking on my finger?
I'm not into that.
That's weird. I might like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never had someone suck blood off of me, though.
No. Yeah, you see it a lot in movies.
Yeah, like people do it, like not in like a kinky way, but like in like a they're maybe it is a kinky way.
Yeah,
but they're
where
like
they'll like someone pricks their finger and then the other person takes it and puts it in their mouth, and it's like, what if they have
blood is so salty,
diseases,
and like irony, like
yeah.
But wait, does your blood taste different from my blood? Caitlin, cut yourself now.
Okay,
let me taste it. I don't
get
know.
right on it.
So we really Vampire Month is it's influenced us way too much. And so
we're trying to drink blood.
Now we're trying to drink each other's blood. And so we're at this point now where he's like his Hutter's eyes are like all opening up wide. It's like the movie's trying to convey to us that he's like having kind of this like in time realization of like, oh shit, this guy might be a vampire.
Yeah.
Is he like trying to suck me off? And then he ends up getting onto that chair or whatever, and I love how Nosferatu is just like coming at him like very like stunty, cunty mama, like just like and then that's it.
Yeah.
We get him just kind of passing out, and then it's like the next day.
He's like trying to convince him to stay till sunrise.
Oh, that's right. He's
like,
because there's a werewolf outside. No,
and he's like basically,
he's like, make the trip worth it. Just stay or something like that. Yeah.
He's like, you don't want to leave now. It's dangerous.
It's giving. Is he trying to seduce the man?
It kind of seems like it.
Yeah.
This was way ahead of its time. Nosferatu is a bi icon.
And exactly, and horror is like inspired like and tell by a lot of like queer like experience and stuff. So like I feel like it could have been. This was really a coming out story.
Yeah.
This was the first LGBTQI plus movie.
It was.
Yeah. Finger snaps. Anyways, we have him waking up the next day now because he spent the night. He got way too toasted. And then he's like kind of is this where he's even kind of checking his neck a little bit, right?
Yeah,
he
checks his neck for bite marks, which I thought that was a really cool scene too, where he pulls out his little hand mirror and was like checking his neck, and you're only seeing his neck. You're only seeing his hand in the mirror, and then you're seeing his neck in the reflection
that the camera's picking up.
Yeah. I thought that was a cool shot.
Served.
I liked it.
All the way back in 1922. And
again, he's a very stretchy fellow. He wakes up like moving all around and stuff. Like no one really wakes up like that.
Elastigirl.
And it says, as soon as the sun rose, the shadows of the night retreated from Hutter.
So it's like when the sun comes up, it's like everything's normal and everything seems really fine, and it's not like that ominous and spooky evil feeling and like when he feels in the presence of the nighttime.
Yeah, and he's back to his happy-go-lucky self. And then he sees a giant feast on the table and just goes and sits in Orlok's chair, which I was like, ooh, I feel like that's a mistake, but I guess it was allowed. And he's just helping himself to whatever. Like there's no one around. He just is like, I'm going to eat all this food. And
he's
I'm like,
a very entitled character.
Yeah, I was like, bitch, was that for you? Like,
I think he immediately thought like, oh yeah, look, they served me breakfast. Great.
Yeah. And it's like, what if that was actually for the servants? And they were like, they come back and they're like, we were about to eat that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, and then he goes out onto the terrace. And he writes a letter.
Writes the letter. He's writing to his wife, and he's basically just like, "Hey, don't worry, I'm doing okay. I'm having really spooky dreams, but life's good, and I'll see you soon." Essentially, He said something else too. He
said 2 mosquitoes bit him in the neck, side by side.
Like what?
He's like, the mosquitoes here are awful. 2 just bit me on the neck.
Half this movie is giving comedy. Like his portions are always giving comedy.
Yeah.
And like the other half is giving horror movie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And even like later on, like when they're chasing like Mr. Knox and stuff, like it's almost like if you were to put like the chicken
like Three Stooges kind of music.
Yeah, exactly. And speed it up just by like a smidge. That's what it was given.
Yeah.
But we have him then like, you know, writing that letter. Yeah, this is when that dude on the horse comes and picks it up from him. And then before we know it, it's nighttime again.
Yeah, the ghostly evening light seems to bring out the castle's shadows again.
And Nosferatu comes out of his coffin and is now talking to Hutter again. And I think this is where they're trying to sign the deal on him buying the property. And then this is really major to the movie because Nosferatu then happens to see a picture of Hutter's wife.
Yeah, he accidentally drops his little locket picture thing of Ellen, and he was basically like, "Damn." He like looks at the picture, looks at him. He's like, "You bang her?"
Yeah, literally.
Basically. Yeah. And then he was like, "Good job." And then he says, "She has a nice neck."
Yeah. Exactly.
Or your wife has a lovely neck.
Lovely neck. Lovely. As if that is very normal to say.
Yeah. Like, totally casual thing. I'm going to start complimenting people's necks.
You should do it.
You have a lovely neck, Josh.
Thanks. I had it elongated. I had to go to South America for that. But it's okay. I was 8.
So that it's all good now.
I used to look like this. But we have... then him being like essentially now mesmerized by his wife and being like, "Oh, you know what? I think
I will buy this house.
I'm gonna sign this deal even faster." And so then we have it cutting to what's his face reading about the vampires again.
Yeah,
he's reading his book, his little handy dandy book, and
it says, "Be careful, his shadow does not engulf you like a demonic nightmare."
Demonic nightmare.
It is DAEMONIC.
That should be in a song. You know how songs like to spell things out, like HOTTOGO, but it's like DAEMONIC. Yeah, that'd be cute. A little parody.
You can take me willingly.
Oh, that's cute. And so then what happens next, Caitlin?
Well, he's reading about him, and then we see that Orlok is just chilling outside his room. Hutter
menacingly
realizes this and goes to hide.
Yeah.
And then Orlok, or Nosferatu, knows he is coming for him.
And there's no locks on the doors or anything because he's like trying to be like, and then he's like, "Oh shit, there's no fucking lock on this door."
Yeah, so then he just goes hides like behind a shelf, right? or on a bed. Yeah. Like, not a very good hiding spot, no. It didn't seem like.
He basically did, like, if I stay still, they won't see me.
Yeah. If I close my eyes.
The monster can't get me.
I can't see them, they can't see me.
Yeah.
But then Orlok comes in, and he looks different now, doesn't he? Like, he looks changed almost.
He looks a bit more even, like...
ghastly.
Vampire-y. Ghouly. Yes.
Yeah.
Like the way they colored in his eyes a bit darker, like around the and even like it almost felt like I don't know how they did it with lighting or what special effects or it's practical effects. So I guess there's no special effects. Like they made him look a bit more
ghoulish. Yeah, and then we flash to Ellen waking up. This is where I called her Emma. And I was like, question mark? I was like, even as I wrote Emma, I was like, I don't think that's her name.
Yeah. She's like having ESP, like, vision.
No, ESP, right. Sorry.
Bow, 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 bow. No. That was not even the ESPN like.
That sounds like Blue's Clues.
Yeah. And so then I do have Blue's Clues all the time actually at work.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm
You're
just
good at
walking around and I'm just like.
I love it.
And I sometimes feel like people know what I'm doing and they're like, "Oh, that's cute." And
other times
they're like they have no fucking clue. They're like they don't know
This
who
guy.
Blue's Clues is. So they're just like, "Why is he making that noise?"
How do you not know Blue's Clues? That would be sad.
So his wife is having these like psychic ability to like it's almost like twins when they understand that another twin got hurt or something, but she's like, oh my god, something's up, something's wrong.
Yeah. And she walks out onto the terrace ledge, is just walking on the like
Olympics
handrail.
2024 Paris.
I know. I was expecting her to like do a flip.
Yeah.
And she almost falls off, but Harding catches her. And he's like, "Doctor, get a doctor." And then we flash back to Nosferatu and Hutter. And Nosferatu's about to get this fool. And he's like finally kind of crouching over him. And then we flash back to Ellen and she's like calling out for him. She's like, "Hutter!" and reaching out. She does this like zombie walk a lot. Or, like as she reaches out, like, I don't know.
Like she's in a like a trance. Almost. Yeah.
And then at this point I was like, I guess Hutter's dead now.
Yeah.
And then
that's what it gave.
It really did. And
but then it just cuts to like him waking up the next day.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, JK, he's not dead.
Oh, and then like they got her down and laid her back in bed, and it was kind of like, oh, okay, this is over. She's going to sleep now.
Yeah.
And then it's the
next
doctor
day. Said it's just a mild case of blood congestion.
Oh yeah, I was like, what is that?
I don't know, but and then the diegesis read, she heard the call of the death bird.
You know what? That's wild too. Blood congestion. What is that? Also, back in the day, they didn't know anything. No. I mean, they were just like, that's something. Why is this person violently shaking? That's because of their liver. Like, like I'm so, obviously people weren't living that long back in the day.
No,
until
because
like
they
modern
didn't
medicine.
know nothing.
Yeah, but that's so crazy. I'm so, sometimes you find yourself a little bit thankful for being born in the time that you were born. Yeah. And then other times I'm like, why wasn't I born in the 1970s? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, then.
Yeah.
Well, for like the music and for like, the drug experience and for like, the culture, not necessarily like, hate crime.
I was like, actually, that would be a pretty bad time for you to live, Josh.
Yeah. But we have where are we at?
Hutter is not dead.
He wakes
up,
yeah.
And
he's exploring.
Goes exploring and stumbles upon a casket in a room. And he,
as one does,
sees that Orlok is sleeping in it, or just kind of rudely wakes him up.
I hate when
people knocks the lid off.
Come into my room and take the lid off my casket. And what do? They leave the room and don't put the lid back on.
Yeah. He's like,
it's the worst. And I love how Nosy is just like sleeping like eyes wide open. Literally. It looks like he's shocked.
Yeah.
But he's asleep, I guess.
But he's sleeping.
I guess he didn't realize and notice too. He's a deep sleeper, I guess.
Yeah.
He got the lid removed off his coffin. And he takes it off. What's his face is really freaked out that he sees him. And then he ends up like, falling backwards and trying to run up the stairs and and leave, I guess, or get away.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then he goes back up to his room and we see Orlok. Yeah, instead of just leaving.
Yeah.
We see Orlok packing himself up. And he's just like using, I guess, vampire powers he's like lifting all these caskets filled with dirt.
Yeah.
That we later find out why. onto this flatbed, and then he stacks in like a pyramid formation. He stacks one last coffin, climbs in it himself, and then uses vampire powers to close the box lid.
I loved how he had psychic powers sometimes. Yeah. Even how it almost like he levitated himself into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And meanwhile, what's his face is just watching this the whole time from from the tower of the castle. And I'm the whole while thinking, like, why is he still here? Like, why is he just
get the fuck out of there?
But then he starts to get together like bed sheets and ties them together.
Yeah, and escapes through the window.
Which I'm like, when was he locked in? There's no locks on these doors.
Yeah, because Orlok was able to get in. Maybe there's some on the outside of the doors.
Maybe that's where the locks are. You're right. That'd be smart for Count Orlok to have it like that. Orlok? Wait, what is this
Orlok.
name? Orlok. Okay. It sounds like freaking like a
Olaf?
Yeah, like that, or like just like Orlok itself sounds like Orkin.
Oh, yeah.
Like a company or something like that. But he ends up being able to get out. He escapes, but he ends up like fucking
hurting his little bum.
Hurting, and I guess he knocks out or something. But then we also see that Nosferatu is being transported over a river, and we get like the little like the script that's like, little do these people who know what they're carrying across the river.
Yeah, the raftsmen had no clue what they were hauling downstream.
And it's like very like dun dun dun. End of Act 2.
That was good.
Act 3 begins. And Hutter's in the hospital
with a fever.
He is not doing too good. He was found by some farmers who said that he bumped his head. What's that one dude? Humpty Dumpty.
Jack and Jill went up a hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
The crown is his head?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so then... there's more to that one, though, isn't there?
Yeah, something, but I don't remember.
And so we, the coffins are getting unloaded from, I guess, one boat to be put on another boat. But as they're getting unloaded, we have like these, the dudes that are unloading them. They open them up, I guess, because I guess they want to inspect it, or maybe they're just being nosy.
Yeah, I think they're just being nosy.
Right? And let some of the rats out.
Yeah, and they see that the first casket's filled with dirt.
As it said on the charter of what it was, yeah.
And then the second one was just like full of rats.
I'm thinking too, maybe it was a real plague in the essence of like, because with his evil dirt, it just brought evilness with dark bad juju. But also, yes, they all had neck mark biting.
Yeah,
so
maybe the rats were vampires too.
That's what I was starting to think as well, because at this moment too, one of the rats bites one of the dudes, and then he starts whacking at them all. So I was thinking, you know what, maybe the rats bit one of them bit what's his face, Orlok, while he was sleeping or something, and then it got infected and acted weird, and then started infecting all of his other rats, and then it became like a whole rat plague. Yeah. For sure. But we have, and then they get loaded into a different boat, and then we cut to our professor
Bulwer,
who studies plants,
carnivorous plants,
and teaches other people about the plants
and the methods of them. And we're looking at a Venus flytrap. And he says,
with really real life footage, they spliced in real footage
of actual fly trap,
plants,
eating a fly. And he says, like a vampire, no?
A lot of parallels. And then Mr. Knock is in the hospital, no? Or
I think he's in a jail cell.
Yeah. But they describe him as a patient.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. They did say the patient who was admitted yesterday has gone stark raving mad.
Yeah.
And they say Knock has fallen under Nosferatu's spell. And Knock is changing, he's changing, and he says, blood is life, blood is life. And it's eating mosquitoes.
I guess because he's trying to get the blood that they have in them from other people.
Because then he's like, blood is life. And then he attacks the doctor.
Yeah, he's acting cray-cray. like for real. He is off his rocker, and I guess because he's, I guess Nosferatu has like mind seducing abilities, and he like has been using him, I guess, in a way as a henchman as well.
Yeah, to
get him to have gone over there in the first place.
Yeah.
And so we have. Oh, and then Ellen's on the beach. Ellen's just chilling. Ellen's being sad girl on the beach vibes.
Yeah, she pined for her beloved.
Mm-hmm. She's just like waiting. And people, the sister and the brother, the wealthy, playing croquet. They are being super jolly. But then they get a letter, and it's from Avi, Mr. Hooter. And They go into Ellen, they give it to her, they try to read it to her and be like, look, like he's fine, he's okay, like everything's gonna be good. And then
also, did you notice how many crosses were on the beach?
Oh yeah, I did. I thought it
that
was
was weird.
Yeah, I think they were trying to say that, like, guess all the people
who died at sea.
Yeah. What are they called? Sailormen.
Sailors.
Sailmen. Yeah, they're sailors. Thank you. Sailmen. They're sailmen. And so
seamen.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Seamen. And so, Eureka, you found it. Hutter feels better. He's waking up. And he has to leave immediately. He has to leave with haste. He has to go save his wife and home. And he gets on a boat, right? Or no, we see a boat. It's the big boat that Nosferatu is on.
Yeah, and I at this point, I was like, wait, he has to take a ship home?
Yeah.
I was confused. I was like, he didn't take a ship there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, or what's the purpose of that ship? And then we just get some footage of, like, Hutter manhandling his horse, just like yanking it around and like, come on. And then Nock ends up stealing something from the janitor.
Yes.
Who was, I'm assuming it was the janitor. He was sweeping. I don't know. But then he steals a piece of paper and it says there's a plague in Transylvania and all victims have the same bite marks on their necks and ships are being stopped if suspected of carrying said plague. And then we flash back to the ship. The ship that now has people dropping like flies on it. We have the first crew, the first mate, right? Who has gone down stricken ill. He's being kept down below. But then all the other guys on the ship, like, well, it was like only like what, 6 or something. There was like 5 crew members, yeah,
and then like the second mate or whatever, and then the captain. But they start dying. But then that's because we have freaking Nosferatu in the hall, the basement, I don't know, the gully,
the hole
of the ship, and I'm assuming he's just eating them at night, you know.
Yeah, I think so. And feeding on them.
Yeah, because then we do have the captain and the one like second in command guy, like
I called him the first mate.
The first mate? Yeah, I think that's what they call him. And he goes down there and he's like, if I don't come back out in 10 minutes, you know, like I'm dead, I guess. Or I don't remember what he said.
Well, big choo-choo train.
Choo-choo. She's coming for our gig.
Yeah, she's like, whoop, whoop. They were taking a boat, not a train. Get out of here. Not your story. It's just going to keep going.
That one like went longer. They were like, hold up.
They were like, sit down, bitch. I am in this story.
She heard us talking shit. Okay. And so, yeah, he goes down there, and that's when we have Nosferatu coming out of his coffin.
Because he starts chomping at the crates.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And he's like, you're disrupting my slumber, bro.
So he just...
That iconic, like, lifting out of the thing. And then the dude sees him, and he freaks out and doesn't really, like, run like, he's kind of like in, like, deer in headlights. And then starts to back up, goes out, gets onto the main part of the top of the boat, the deck. Yeah. And then falls off.
Yep, he just goes overboard. And then the captain sees him and he's like, what the hell? And then the captain starts tying himself to the boat.
Yeah. And not realizing that Nosy is coming out.
Yeah. And then Nosferatu gets him and it says the death ship has a new captain.
Bum, bum, bum. End of Act 3.
End of Act 3. Beginning of Act 4 now.
Yeah.
And it says the ship was going at supernatural speed with the breath of Nosferatu. And then Ellen. She's got like 80
Emma,
different names.
Ellis, Ellen.
Ellen is out on the terrace again. I combined Ellen and terrace.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Out on the terrace again.
Yeah.
And she's like, I must go to him. He is coming. And this music is getting super intense now.
Oh, yeah. And then at this point, too, Mr. Knox is in the cell, and he's like, the master is near. The master is near.
Yeah. He's like climbing up to the window. This window is like a barred window that's up probably like, I don't know, 6 feet above his bed. But he uses his bed to like climb up, and he shimmies up, and he looks out the window.
Yeah.
And he's, saying the master is near. And then Nosferatu starts coming out of the bottom of the ship, and he literally looked like the eyeball emoji, you know, the one that's like,
oh yeah, he's like that a lot of the times in the movie. He's just so wide-eyed. It's so creepy. Like... And then Knox attacks a guard. Yeah, and then is like going like feral. And then this is whenever we get like the movie's letting us know that the reason he's traveling with the dirt in his coffins is because we learned that the vampire needs its power from the dirt in which it is buried in. They're stronger with how, I guess,
the cursed earth that they were buried in.
Which I guess makes sense. Pretty cool. But also seems like a bit of an inconvenience for all vampires. Just saying.
Yeah, it does. It makes it a little hard to pack up and move. I mean, maybe if you just keep like a pocket
of dirt,
of dirt,
or put it in a little
like
vial,
pocket dirt,
or a little ring, like little jewelry that has your dirt
necklace.
In it. But I like we did at the same time. But also feels like even bigger inconvenience because that's like, isn't that a MacGuffin? Like, isn't that like? Then someone could just like get that from you, and you're like, oh,
and you
I'm
lost
powerless.
all your power. Yeah.
But we have I guess. Oh yeah, that's when he comes out too, and then like all the Nosferatu or Count Orlok is coming out, and then like all the mice are coming out after him.
Yeah,
and they really like panned there for a while, just letting us watch all these mice come out of the boat.
Little porthole thing, yeah. And Hutter makes it home in time. Hutter makes it home just in time, and Nosferatu's just sneaking around with his coffin full of dirt, I guess.
All through the town.
Yeah, he's just walking around like willy-nilly with it on his hip, and I'm like, damn, he's strong.
Strong man.
Like, because he's just like, do.
Yeah, very much so.
But then basically he shows up at their house and he sees them kiss, and he kind of runs off after that to his own house. And
he got shy.
Yeah.
He was hot.
He was like, damn, she's cheating on me.
Yeah.
And then Hutter's reassuring Ellen that everything will be all right now. And then people start boarding the ship, and they find the captain dead. And not a living soul on board.
Not one living soul, but they did find what would you say, like a ledger, like a journal, a diary. Yeah.
Reading the like captain's log.
Because they bring a body into like a town square or whatever meeting area, and they're doing that thing where they're looking at the body. They're trying to like assess what's happened, and the log is like going day by day, basically like, you know, this is how many people were here, and then like one dude's down there going crazy. He's saying there's like a what's it called? Like a unaccounted member or someone on the ship that shouldn't be here.
Unknown passenger below deck.
And then it went from like one person being sick to like now everybody's sick. Now it's just me and the captain. And then they're like, we think that there might be a plague on this ship.
Yeah, because then they see the rats in the hold of the ship.
Yeah.
Or read about it. And then it says, danger of the plague. Go home and bolt your doors.
Yeah. And then that's when they start freaking out.
And then it says, basically, if you have someone with the plague, you can't take them to the infirmary because they'll spread the plague throughout the streets.
So you're shit out of luck.
Yeah, you're just going to die.
I think a lot of this, too, because this movie came out in 1922, right? So there was the like Spanish
influenza
flu going around that time. So I guess that just how like we had COVID, and now every fucking show the past 1 or 2 years has had like their COVID season or like their, you know, their own take on it. But yeah, the plague is taking everybody out. People were just dying. We kind of, it turns into basically like 20-ish minutes of like just like the plague taking everybody out.
Yeah, because we get the end of Act 4 and then the start of Act 5. We get somebody marking a house, all the houses with a cross. And I guess those are the ones that are infected.
Yeah.
We get someone bringing out their dead in a coffin. And then we flash back to Ellen and Hutter, and he says, like, promise me not to touch the book that made him have the strange visions, but she found it irresistible.
She couldn't help herself.
Yeah, and so there was something drawing her to the book, and she ends up reading it, and finds out that there is a way to
vanquish.
Yeah, him. And it says, deliverance is possible by no other means but that an innocent maiden maketh the vampire heed not the first crowing of the cock. This done by the sacrifice of her own blood.
I love how they use the word cock.
Yeah.
They just had to.
Cock.
Yeah. But, yeah. And so she reads that and is inspired to then, because I guess I don't know, this whole movie too, she's been having like this weird, almost psychic connection with Count Orlok. And I guess maybe because he loves her, I don't know, or secretly, I don't know.
Maybe he's got some love potion.
Yeah.
Little love spell.
But
that's entranced her. And
she's read this, now she knows. And I think that the next day it's like, then it's showing us how bad it's gone, because like now it's just like a town like of just like people just like walking through the streets with like dead, with coffins and stuff.
Yeah, it's literally like a parade of caskets.
And then we start to get to the like, this is where they start to blame Mr. Knox, right? Because they need to blame somebody.
Yeah. And yes. We also had Hutter finds her reading the book. Oh, and then they she points out the window and she's like, that is what I look at every night. And she's in distress. And then Hutter's like blocking the window and then looking out it and then backs away horrified.
Yeah.
And it says, fear lurked in every corner of the town because they didn't know who was healthy and who was still sick. And then I think the Harding's sister
she becomes ill. Sick. That's right.
And but then then that's where Ellen's watching the parade of bodies coming down the street, and then she basically, I guess, seems like she's going to sacrifice herself.
She's like, it's kind of portraying and showing like her decision making almost of like, oh, this is the last straw, I've got to do something about this.
Yeah. And then this is where they're looking for the scapegoat. And they chose Knock, saying that he strangled the guard and fled from the house. He strangled him. He's a vampire. And
I love the connection there.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see it, but okay.
Because that's what vampires do, is strangle their prey. But yeah, then they
had to do with the neck, I guess.
They go on to a chasing spree montage, and they end up finding him on a roof.
Yeah, he's on the roof somehow. And I was like, okay. And this is
they're
where
throwing rocks at him.
Yeah, and he's like,
yeah, don't like that. I'm gonna get off of here.
Yeah, and he gets down pretty
easily, fast,
agilely.
Yeah, and then goes running away, ends up in like a field, and then like hiding behind like
a big rock or
thing.
Something, and then they attack a scarecrow, thinking it's him. And then we get Nosferatu staring out the window, and then Ellen, I think she was meaning to grab her heart.
But boob.
She grabbed her boob every time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, girl, your heart's maybe a little higher. Like,
maybe hers isn't.
Maybe not. Because every time she was like,
the heart is in the boob.
And I was like, okay, girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, she grabs her boob and walks like a zombie towards the window. And Hutter all the while is asleep in the chair.
Yes.
Next to the bed. I guess he didn't feel like going. He was trying to keep watch, I guess.
On her, yeah.
Yeah. And then we get Nosferatu like reacting to her looking out the window as she kind of is like messing with the window. And then he sees her and
the very like Lady Gaga, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah. Or Michael Jackson.
Oh, Thriller. Yeah.
Thriller.
I could see that. Both. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
That's probably
what inspired. Yeah.
This film is
It's just the catalyst for so many things,
It
honestly.
spawned Lady Gaga.
It did, and it spawned. Wow, that's really cool. And she ends up luring him over.
Yep.
And it works.
Ellen ends up wakes Hutter up, and she's like, Bulwer, get Bulwer.
Yeah, the doctor, yeah.
She says, and I think she made him leave on purpose.
Yeah, she definitely was trying to trick him so that he would leave. And then, because it's all that, like, you know, when you act like you fake someone out, and then as soon as he leaves, she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Because then, she like composed herself, and she gets into the bed, and then we see ghostly Nosferatu's like ghostly fingertips like creeping up the hallway and up the door, and then over her body. And then he sucks her blood.
Socks her dry.
Yep.
And he keeps sucking her until he fails to realize
Till the rooster crows. Till the cock crows.
The cock crows, and then his eyes get big, and he's like, oh, fuck.
I done fucked up. He
looks out the window, and then it's like, so funny the way they managed to make him just kind of disappear. But I guess he burned alive.
Yeah,
because they have like a little poof of smoke
at the end.
The tiniest little like poof of smoke. It looked like someone literally inhaled a vape, and we're just like, there you go. There you go, guys. Catch it.
Get it on camera.
Get it on camera, guys. And then,
they Mr. apparently caught Knock.
Knock, he's in the prison cell, and then he's like, the master is dead.
The master.
And then he dies? Or he just kind of goes to sleep? I guess
the
he's killed?
Master is dead, Knock says.
Yeah.
And then...
Because he just slumps over.
Yeah. I don't know if he died with him or if he just, was like, maybe the spell wore off.
I may sleep now. I may rest. Yeah. And then, that happens. And then we cut to
Ellen yelling, Hutter. And he catches her. He comes into the room back with the doctor, catches her just before she dies. And, then basically, she goes
dies.
unconscious.
Yeah.
She dies. And then it says, and the great truth bore witness to the miracle. At that very moment, the great death came to an end, and the shadow of the death bird was gone, as if obliterated by the triumphant rays of the living sun. Beautiful.
Very
poetic.
That's really cute. And that is the end of Nosferatu.
1922.
The movie had really cool aesthetic, even for its age. And maybe it's just like that's no aesthetics. This is just how movies looked back in the day.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of even images where like they put in transition between like the acts and then in between things going on. But what's a fun fact that you have for me today, my friend?
The movie was banned in Sweden due to excessive horror, and the ban was finally lifted in 1972.
Wow.
All known prints and negatives were destroyed under the terms of a settlement of a lawsuit by Bram Stoker's widow. The film would subsequently resurface through second-generation reels in other countries. After 85 years, virtually all of the exteriors are left intact of the cities of Wismark and Lübeck. I guess that's where it was
actually filmed.
Yeah. And at around 25 minutes, Count Orlok is seen blinking once on screen near the end of Act 1. I guess that's the only time he blinks. The rest of the time he's the eyeball emoji.
Max Schreck did a really good job portraying him.
Yeah. And then this last one's kind of long. But it says the film was loosely based on the Bram Stoker book, but the characters' names were changed in an attempt to prevent legal action, which failed. The subtitles were translated into French. Then, when the film went into the USA, into English, but with Stoker's character names used. And so in the meantime, the original prints were destroyed because of legal action, so the original subtitles were lost. The American version went to the UK and then was translated back into German for release there. When restorers were about to make a definitive version, they were looking through a number of archives. Unfortunately, all the prints they found had changed subtitles, so they gave up hope of being able to recover the originals. They later heard of a good print in an East German archive, and when they got there, they found out that the print had been loaned out, and the restorers were then offered to have a look at another print from the archive, which wasn't considered as good as the other one. When the restorers observed that print, they discovered that it had the original subtitles, and it had been sitting there for half a century and nobody had noticed. So they finally found the original subtitles.
That's cool.
It just took a while.
Yeah. But I mean, like 50 years, just about, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's really cool though too, and how like there were, we got copies or somehow got this through second generation, like people secondhand or somehow, because it could have been lost to time and like the powers of a lawsuit.
Yeah.
That's crazy because someone was like, that was my idea, not yours.
His wife.
Burn it. Yeah. Wasn't even your idea.
Yeah, it was
chick.
your husband's.
But yeah, that's cool.
Dead.
But well, and also too, I mean, it's not like this was the only thing that's been inspired by Dracula, because it inspired so many other things as well.
Yeah.
And so.
But I guess she died before all those came out.
Yeah. So we have boot rating time. I think that this movie definitely deserves a good rating because it has inspired so many other things, and because even it's silent film, and so you honestly really do have to pay attention to the thing, because you blink or look away for 5 seconds and like you miss one of those things that bring up dialogue or explaining what's happening. But even if you were to take out honestly all of those things that really described kind of specifically what was happening, it was pretty good at making you get what was happening because of the music, their acting, their body language. And Nosferatu was actually really creepy. Because it in a sense of like a horror movie, like most of this movie literally had strings and like a symphony going through it, so it doesn't give like horror movie ish. But back then I can see like how it would be really terrifying maybe, and then how Nosferatu, because there weren't like other horror movies and monsters, like he was really terrifying looking. I would give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. I think it really did a good job at giving us a good little vampire story. I guess it's essentially is like copy and edit Dracula, but it's not, because it kind of does its own thing and telling like, the whole Ellen and Hutter kind of love story situation. And then I guess Nosferatu falling in love with her, I guess, and wanting to be with her. I like some of the transitions. The music was cool. I thought everybody did a good job. For it being an old movie too, it's held up well. I guess that's all the restorative stuff, but it looks good. It doesn't look really crappy. But yeah, I would give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree, I think.
4.5.
4.5.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ignore the historical impact that it has and has had. So I think for that reason alone, and the fact that it's been in countless other horror films, like it was in Scream, right? Scream 2.
Oh yeah, and it's been referenced in so many things, and like even like SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, and like lots of its influence on pop culture and stuff, which for it to have held up from 1922 all the way to now, like many things from 1922 don't still have a historical like significance, and the
Probably
fact that this film did is
I can't name you anything else from the year 1922.
no, me neither.
I couldn't. No,
all I know is Nosferatu.
Literally.
So I mean, the fact that it's held up this long is incredible. And it even, like, I kind of looked up like what Nosferatu symbolizes too, and it can be seen as a symbolic representation of war and how he enters a foreign land and brings upon the land rampant death, much in the same way countries in World War I were massacred by heartless invaders many times, seeking victory for no purpose but victory itself. And so it had like political and just social significance of the time too, which I think is really cool. And as we said, it's the first LGBT your alphabet thing.
Alphabet soup community.
I definitely stumbled over that.
You're getting canceled.
I am.
Immediately. You don't even know the GTBLI.
GTBLI.
Oh, not the HEBT2.
ABCDEFG.
JKLMNOP.
QRS.
YXLP. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Okay. I was like, no.
None of it's real. Pronouns aren't real. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. I'm just kidding. JK.
JK.
We're giving, what is it? Trump supporters. Anyways,
Ugh.
if you're listening.
And you're a Trump supporter, get out of here. I don't want you.
Honestly. JK. No, not for real. But for real.
I mean, honestly, I don't think you would listen to us if you were.
That's what it gives. Yeah, for sure, for the most part. But also, because you want to be like, let's love everybody. Political affiliations, but like also if you're affiliated politically with that, that means you
actively hate people.
Literally. And
subgroups of people.
Are for legislation that restricts my life and experience.
Exactly.
Anyways, so yeah.
4.5 for Nosferatu. I also do have a note from Emma. Because I asked them.
You were in this movie, Emma?
For notes on all the movies we are covering. And
do you think that's for like
she was
something sexual?
Oh, like a little sex swing? Okay. Let's see. So we went back a little bit back and forth over like the historical significance of vampires and stuff too.
Oh yeah.
But she said, this was my first time watching this movie, and I have to say it was a really cool experience. It was my first time watching this too. I had never actually watched Nosferatu from start to finish. I'd only known like the clips of him going up the stairs and him walking out the window and stuff. She says, I'm not going to pretend to be able to wax poetic about the impact of this film on horror movies or film in general, because I do not have that expertise. I know this was a hugely influential and important film, and I will leave it at that. Same. Mm-hmm. And she said, I also find it difficult to rate this traditionally because it is such a different style of movie. It is fascinating to watch in that historical context and to see the choices made at the time. I would so love to look in a crystal ball and watch people watch this in 1922. She said, it's also crazy to think of how different we are culturally. Yeah, I can't say that word. In just over 100 years. All the same, Count Orlok is still creepy AF, and the story is engaging, even if it's not necessarily scary in a modern context, at least to me, which I would agree. Mm-hmm. The sexual undertones were unexpected to me for some reason, even if this is definitely not in a sexy vampire category. Overall, it was really fascinating to watch, even if I maybe wouldn't put this on when I'm in the mood to be spooked. Taking into account the importance of the film itself, I feel a bit obligated to give it a 5 boos. I would really like to watch a documentary on the film and learn more about the reception and impact. Same.
Yeah,
I would like
a lot of stuff on it on YouTube.
Yeah, like to watch a lot of that and try to figure it out. But yeah, that's 1922's Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. I'm literally sending you a link right now
to watch a YouTube video.
Yeah,
nice. Please do.
Yeah, I follow this YouTube channel actually called Spilling History, and they just happen to already have one on the Nosy Guy.
Nice.
But we are, so a 4.5, and a 5. I would say that's basically a 5, no?
Yeah. I mean, because I feel like my 4.5 is definitely leaning more towards a 5 than a 4.
Same. And if
just
we're rounding up.
We might as well just call it a 5. From your BooBaes plus Emma.
BooBaes plus Emma.
Plus Emma, who is in this film.
Yeah.
Not really.
Emma Lily.
Emma Lily.
You cringed. And so we are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studio, you guys.
Today we are.
Been able to record in here in a while, but we love when we get to. It's changed a little bit, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun to be in here. And they take great care of us. And they have a slew of podcasts that you can listen to all in one central place, and that is at
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
And then if you want to listen to those podcasts or us, you can do so on a bunch of different platforms, but the biggest two would be
Apple.
And also Spotify. And wherever you do listen, don't forget to
rate, review, like, and subscribe.
That's right, because that's the only way we can get ahead in this world. And tell your friends. It's officially spooky season. We're less than 100 days to Halloween, so buckle in. It's time to get scary.
Time to start thinking about those Halloween costumes, you guys, because it comes up faster than you think. And then you're like, oh my God, I don't have a costume. I need to rush to Halloween Spirit store, but they close in an hour. Oh my God. And Halloween's in 2 days, and there's nothing left.
Exactly. So we got to keep an eye out for those Spirit of Halloweens, and then send us your suggestions of costumes.
Nosferatu, super easy one to pull off. Large trench coat.
A nice big suit with pointy shoulders.
And then like, bet you could create
those witch fingers.
I bet you could create it
just a bunch of bugles.
Bugles, literally, just bugles and hot glue. That's all you need.
Tink 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 tink.
Tink 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 tink. And then maybe you could also do Akasha from Queen of the Damned. If you're a lady
really
listener,
snatched.
Or also a male listener as well.
You don't have to be snatched.
You don't have to be snatched. And then also,
but Aaliyah was snatched.
She was gorgeous. And then you could also be Blade. Blade's really cool. Blade's got leather and blades.
And blades.
Legit
and
blades.
Now he's got relevance in 2024 as well because of Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, most certainly. And then, so there are 3 wonderful ideas inspired by 3 of our episodes. So
now you have to send us 3 ideas as well.
Thank you, guys. And you can do that by, how can they do that, Caitlin?
And you can do that in our one central social media place that we have, which is called Instagram.
Yes.
And that is at
BooBaes Podcast, and that's at BOOBAES, because we're your BooBaes, not your BooBaes.
That's right.
Yep.
And until next time, I guess we'll be covering Dracula next, right?
Dracula, yes.
So
there are a few different versions. I think we picked what was it?
The original,
The
right?
original? I don't remember.
I think is what we said.
The original.
Yeah.
But there are different versions. I'm just putting that information out there.
Good to know.
I don't know why. Anyways,
for me,
until then.
Because I'm going to ask you late at night when you're already asleep.
But yeah, until then, you guys, please don't turn into a vampire, because it just seems a bit
overplayed. No, I'm just kidding.
Not even. It seems a bit inconvenient, no?
Yeah, you can't eat garlic bread.
You have to keep sucking blood. You just have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Eventually, like, that just seems like a really, like, it almost gives, like...
tiresome.
No, what are those, like, things that are, like, those... Oh, it's a word, like, an expensive habit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna get, like, how do you fund that for forever? You can't. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And
people's lives are literally riding on it.
Literally. And then, like, then it becomes this, where it's like people are disappearing. There's a vampire here somewhere. Like, who is doing it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Scary.
But
Dracula's next, so buckle up. It'll be a fun, another classic. And until next time, you guys.
Bye, baes.
Bye, baes.
BooBaes.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.